What's going on, everybody? Keith Vape here. I'm excited to join you guys this evening. I've picked out here on Fantasy Labs two games that I think, after watching a lot of these famous YouTubers and others, um, I've noticed that these two teams are going a little bit off the radar here. And I love the price points. I love the fact that some of these teams have let some others down in the past few weeks. Um, there are several things that I'm really liking here that I would like to go over with you guys here this evening. Let's see here. Excuse me while I fix this up really quick, guys. I'm kind of new to this whole thing. All right. Now, as you guys can see, I have Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert, Mitchell Trubisky, and Deshaun Watson in this section here. Now, I've been, as a quick reminder to everybody that's joining in or that's seen me or seen my past YouTube videos, I've been playing the $9 slant tournament on DraftKings since week 9. Since week 9 of this particular season. This is since week 9 I've been max multi entering these particular tournaments. Please be patient with me. Okay? Might be a little bit slow. It's my first time kind of streaming and trying to do this in front of a camera. Like I said, I've been playing this thing since week 9, and on week 9 I had two lineups in the top 10, return on investment for about $16,000. And on week 14 I had 6 teams finish in the top 100, including 2 in the top 10, 4th and 9th place, I want to say. You can check my previous videos just so you know. And I want to go over what's worked for me, and this is the exact same path that I'll be following this particular week. What worked for me in those weeks were low-owned stacks, teams that were going off the radar. And the lineups that got up to those top 10 spots were always full, somewhat not full team stacks, but double stacks and bringbacks. Have been really good for me. And avoiding the chalky players in those case scenarios have really worked out for me. I've picked out two games here that I think are going a little bit off the radar. But I just look at game theory and ownership. And if you watch my previous videos, it's all about my own thought process of the outcome of these games, along with some chalky and not not chalky players in leverage spots, meaning you got to leverage the field in mass multi entering these particular tournaments. So we have here two games picked out. Atlanta versus Los Angeles. Now, Matt Ryan has faced some tough defenses, including the Saints twice, I want to say, in the past 3 weeks. He just is not doing well against the Saints. The first time around, Julio Jones was bothered by his hamstring injury. I think he's going to be, he played the full game last week, so I think he should be doing better this time around. Justin Herbert is coming off of that huge disappointment game against Belichick. And we all know how Belichick likes to treat his rookies. And that was one of the spots. It was a huge letdown spot for everybody. Now, I didn't have any Justin Herbert. I'm not bragging here, but I kind of predicted the outcome of this game by picking the Patriots. If you see, my top lineups had all Patriots defenses on them. by picking the Patriots defense against this particular team and giving myself huge leverage over the field on people that played Austin Eckler or on 35% odd something percent of their lineups, 30 to 35, depending on which tournament you were in. Now, I really, really love Justin Herbert this week on a bounce back spot because I like these quarterbacks. I love their pass catchers. And I'd like to go over some of these plays with you guys right now. If we go over here, now this is Fantasy Labs, guys. Any fantasy crunch will work. There's many out there in the market. Going over the running backs. Since I do plan on full stacking these games, full stacking in my lineups, I will have exposure to running backs along with their pass catchers. I definitely do not have any. Todd Gurley is looking super cheap here, so he might be in play just as a price play, really. But I'm really not too interested I've seen this guy run out there and he just doesn't look like himself anymore. He looks like a completely different player, so I'm not really too interested in Todd Gurley. But I love Austin Eckler here. You can play Austin Eckler either with Justin Herbert or you can bring him back on your Matt Ryan stacks. David Montgomery is definitely in play for me. Depending on his projected ownership, most likely I will be above the field on David Montgomery. Might sound like I'm chasing points here, but definitely I don't believe that's the case. I think that he's just hitting a softer schedule at the right time of the season when defenses are more worn down. And he's a young dude, so he's just picking up his legs underneath him, and I think he's doing excellent. And he's going to win people some money this week, I believe. If we're looking at their pass catchers, we got Darnell Mooney, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Julio Jones, Allen Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Jalen. These are all, there's so much potential in these games. The reason I really, really, really love these matchups is because when you find a team like this, okay, these two games that could shoot off, and if they do shoot off, that means most of these cheap guys that you're seeing on my screen here, majority of them are going to go off, okay, and I'm going to play them based off of ownership. Now, we're Thursday night. It's too early in the week to really know the ownership on these guys until Sunday lock. So we really don't know where we stand here with that. But looking at it here, what I'm trying to get at is once you find these pieces, these teams, okay, what that's going to allow you to do is if these two teams hit the jackpot, the shootout, that's going to allow you to open up to get to these guys right here, which I definitely have a lot of interest in. I love Christian McCaffrey this week. I don't care what the coaches tell me, okay? If they tell me he's going to play half the percent of the snaps, I don't buy into it. I don't believe it. They've already said that before, and he crushed the week. That was the very same week on week 9 that won me the GPPs. Okay? Derrick Henry, I'm going to be way over the field, double the field. I know a lot of experts are going to be shying away in this spot, trying to leverage themselves, but I don't think that this is a spot that you can get away from. I really, really don't think this week you can get away from Derrick Henry. His price is reduced from last week by $500. I have no idea why. The matchup is even. He's playing against Jacksonville. Now, I know he didn't do well earlier in the season against this particular team, but this is December. Coming into January, this is Derrick Henry, absolute smash spot in my eyes. So, by locating these stacks, I'm going to get me a whole lot of Christian McCaffrey. I don't have too much interest in Dalvin Cook at the moment, mainly because of this defense. Now, I know he does catch balls out of the backfield, but they're big. I mean, they're kind of big underdogs in this spot. I think 6.5 something points. That's too much. Um, and we all know about Tampa Bay's defense. I mean, this is a defense that is really, really, really tough to run against. We all know that. We're all aware of that. Um, so, because my low owned cheap stacks, I'm going to have a lot of Aaron Jones. I'm not crazy about Nick Chubb in this spot. James Robinson is a lock and loaded play. Okay, I'm going to be over the field on James Robinson every week. I don't care who he's playing. I don't care how many points he's an underdog by, but I'm going to be all over the field. I'm going to be all over James Robinson. Alvin Kamara, I'm probably not going to go there. I mean, last week I know he had a good game, but it wasn't convincing enough. I want to see more of that. It's too much of a risk at that price point because a lot of my interest is going to go to guys like Austin Eckler. Within this price point, a lot of my interest, I'm going to be over the field on guys like Chris Carson, Ezekiel Elliott, David Montgomery. Okay, these are low-priced players. I mean, Elliott should not be $6,600. We all know that. That's too cheap of a price tag, and I think he's going to be low-owned. I mean, as far as all the videos and the experts that I've been listening to along the week here, I think he's going to be low-owned. That's what they're predicting. So if he is low-owned, give me some Ezekiel Elliott against the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, I feel like the whole Dallas offense is in play. A lot of people are talking about the Dallas offense, but I'm really not sure where the ownership is going to go. And I really think it's going to fall on guys like Ezekiel Elliott and CD Lamb. I know Lamb is too cheap, but I'm not too sure. That's all going to come down to ownership. Now, just scrolling down here. Jonathan Taylor, great week last week, 22 DraftKings points. I know I smashed with him, so he's catching my eye. And even though Jordan Wilkins, I think he's going to be playing this week. So that's a three-headed backfield. But, I mean, at this price tag, low ownership, Indy's on a playoff run. I do have some interest here. Not so much, though. Not so much. Nyheim Hines is always in play. Giovanni Bernard might be one of my sleeper picks of the week. Okay? Outside of my stacks that we already talked about, Nyheim Hines is going to be definitely in play. Going back here, let's see here. What else we got here? Yeah, Wilkins is back. You guys see that. That's pretty much it about my interest on the running backs. Definitely hit the spot. I like I said, I'm gonna be all over the field on guys like Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, Christian McCaffrey, etc. And I'll go over some one-offs with you guys. Right off the bat, you guys can see the Cincinnati receivers are grading out really well on this particular cruncher here. And, I mean, we all know Dallas's defense. We all know what that's about, okay? Now, even Lamar Jackson had a career day against them on Monday Night Football. I mean, maybe it was Tuesday night. Now we have Tuesday Night Football as well, so it was probably Tuesday night. But what I'm trying to get at is they're letting everybody score. And Brandon Allen, their quarterback, this man is fearless. I mean, he is throwing that ball out there, slinging it out there, and this is the type of quarterbacks we want in fantasy. But the reason I'm kind of shying away from this game as a stack is because I'm just not sure that Cincinnati can compete in this game, period. I think this is going to be a lot of Dallas, and I'm not so high on Cincinnati, even though Dallas's defense is pretty bad. But, I mean, they're really cheap, so you got great stacking options, obviously, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, I'm definitely going to have one of them, but my exposure to either one of these pass catchers is going to be based strictly off of ownership. This is going to be a strictly ownership play for me. Whoever is lower owned, that's where I'm gonna be. I'm definitely not gonna be playing both of them. I'm gonna pick one and go with the lower owned player because obviously you guys can see they grade out the same here in this particular cruncher. As you guys can see, I mean Dallas, all the Dallas wide receivers. I'm definitely gonna have a lot of one-offs, but like I said, I'm not game stacking this game. I'm not too interested. It's somewhat of a low total. And it could be an ugly game. I'm not too crazy on it. Dallas's defense might show up just because of how trash the Bengals are. I mean, it might be a low scoring game. It might be a Zeke week. So it might be a Zeke Dallas defense week. But definitely, like I said, some one-offs in some of your lineups. If you guys go over my winning lineups on these GPPs, a lot of them are game stacks, not just one particular game stack, but a secondary stack within the same lineup. So say for example, last week I had Vegas Raiders Jet stacks, right? Derek Carr, Darren Waller, Jamison Crowder bring back. My secondary stack within that week was within the same lineups, Montgomery and QT as a bring back. So I got doubles. I'm trying to catch as many leverage spots as possible without guessing too much or without relying on so many teams to really go off. So I found success doing that. So basically, in lineups that a lot of lineups that I will have Ezekiel Elliott, I will have some Dallas defense who's grading out pretty well and they're cheap. So that's going to be going into a lot of my lineups. And a lot of you guys know these theories. It's just about, narrowing down the right game. The right game that can shoot out. Because that's what you want. You don't want... I've never been too successful in terms of getting to the top of GPPs playing guys, playing the expensive quarterbacks and their expensive pass catcher, which doesn't allow me to get those big, stud like the rest of my lineup with studs. So if I can predict these cheap guys to score the same amount of points, right? You know what I'm saying? If I can predict the cheap guys, then I know the guys that I'm going to pay for are going to go off or more likely are going to go off. So I'm definitely sticking to the same route that has really, really worked for me in the past. And that's why, if you guys come back here, that is exactly why I am targeting. And those of you are just maybe I'm getting some viewers in here, okay? But I want to kind of rewind back really quick. I've picked out two teams to stacks here. And these are going to be low-owned games. I mean, I love Deshaun Watson. And Mitchell Trubisky can go off against this Texans team. He can. And he's got the weapons. All of these weapons are back and healthy. You got Allen Robinson, Mooney, Anthony Miller. Everybody's back. My secondary, this is my favorite because this right here, okay, nobody's talking about this game. I mean, I know people are bringing up this game here, but this is in my eyes the best game of the week. Matt Ryan, Justin Herbert. I'm talking myself into it while I'm speaking here, but these guys have been letting people down. That's why their prices are down. And in daily fantasy, you want to find these leverage plays. You want to pounce on these type of players, these high upside players, when the public is off of them. We all saw what happened to Justin Herbert. We all been getting burned by Matt Ryan left and right. He's been burning us. But I'm going right back to the well. I don't care. He's not playing the Saints. Okay? This is a non-divisional matchup in December. These teams haven't played against it. They're not familiar with each other. They don't know. They're not familiar with one another. Therefore, this is the game like I said, I'm finding my cheap plays. Look at these price tags on DraftKings. Julio Jones, 6,600. This is the time to play Julio Jones. If you're gonna play daily fantasy GPPs this week, Julio Jones is your man. This is what I'm thinking. Okay, all right. I mean, do what you want, obviously, but I'm giving you my input. And like I said, these cheap plays that are supposed to be pricier are going to get me to the top. Guys like Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. I'm going to be all over that. So I wanted to make this short little video for you guys today. We didn't really talk about tight ends. I'll quickly talk about tight ends, where I'm at. Obviously, Hurst, some Akins, Hunter Henry for sure. These are all going to be my stacks. I'm going to have a lot of stacks of these teams. And then the individual players that I like with higher ownership than the rest of the field. Simple as that. This is what it's looking like as of today, Thursday. Now, come Sunday morning, Sunday lock, these might change. Okay, we're going to have news, injuries, COVID list. Things are going to come up and change. But as of tonight, this is where I'm at. This is what's on my head. This is what I've been thinking about for the past few days. And that's it. I'm not here. Like, I'm not going to the Chiefs. I see what they're implied, but I can't, like you want to do a stack? Look at this prices. 8,100. Where's Tyreek Hill? 8,500 for Tyreek Hill. You look at that. Look how much salary that's gonna take. And on top of that, they're playing Miami. Why would I even waste money on Patrick Mahomes this week? Tyreek Hill's got to score more than 30 points to get there. And he's been doing that this year, but I can probably get $6,600 Julio Jones, who has the same, not the same, but a similar ceiling. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. I'm not paying that. I like to double stack, triple stack my lineups. I'm not paying. I can't pay this. I'm definitely not going there. I'm staying away from this spot. Especially, maybe I'll have some interest if Fitzpatrick is projected to play, but he's not even going to play. And Miami's stud corners are a little bit scary for me. That's why it might be a Clyde Edwards-Helaire week. And I don't know. That's going to come down to ownership. If he's low owned, I'm going to be all over Clyde Edwards-Helaire because Vegas is projecting them to score 29 fucking points. Points got to come from somewhere. It's either going to come from the defense. Okay, pick sixes. We all know Chiefs defense. They can get hot at the right time in December. We all know that. Come playoff time. Okay. Let's just go over quickly some of these games. I'm not stacking here. We all went over this already. Okay. Giants have been playing incredible defense, and Kyler Murray's shoulder's banged up. He doesn't run anymore. Why the fuck would I want to go here? Fuck this game. Exit out. Don't even go there. Unless you see something that I don't. This is my view. That's why we all, when it comes to DFS and GPPs, and I only play GPPs, okay, you got to have your theory. You got to have a vision for Sunday football slate. It might not come out. Obviously, we don't win every week, but this is the strategy I take to get to the top of GPPs. You got the Vikings. Now, this is a really good potential game for me, actually. I'm definitely going to have some interest in this game right here because both of these offenses can score. Both of these offenses have great quarterbacks that can pass the rock, and they have incredible wide receivers. Okay? But I feel like that game is going to be a little bit highly owned, and Tom Brady's targets are really hard to predict. So that's a tough spot there, but we already talked about Tennessee. This is Derrick Henry's spot. If you're chasing Corey Davis and you're chasing Corey Davis's 38 DraftKings points from last week. Well, they were down fucking 28 points in the first quarter. Some bullshit like that. Okay? What are the possibilities that Corey Davis is going to drop 38 points again? Probably not. What are the chances that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to go 28-0 against the Tennessee Titans? Okay? Probably not. And you're not going to see a ceiling games from those pass catchers. Maybe one of them has to have a good game. It's not just going to all be Derrick Henry. But this is Henry week for me. I hear a lot of experts talking about the receivers. I don't see it. I see Henry written all over this game. And I don't care what his ownership is. With my cheap quarterback, I'm going to get to Henry. And if he burns me, so be it. Okay? This is fantasy football. You're not going to get everything right. If he burns me, he burns me. We already talked about this game. You see, like, this game, everybody's cheap, but the Vegas total is so low. I don't want too much interest in that. We talked about Christian McCaffrey in this spot as a favorite. Okay, this is the only thing I'm touching. Maybe a bring back like KJ Hamler. Or bring back like Jared Jeudy, Tim Patrick. One of them. I'm definitely going to have bring backs. One receiver. It's going to come down to ownership. In those type of lineups. As a secondary stack to my main stacks. Okay, this is what I'm going to be at. Colts are so fucking unpredictable. I mean, I don't know where to go there. Really, I really don't know. Derek Carr week. People are going to change this right here. That was last week, guys. I'm pretty sure that was last week, okay? And I was all over that. But, hey, that's what I'm talking about. You can't be somewhere when it's already happened. You're 1 week late to the party. I don't always call out the right game, but when I do, it blows up. Okay? And in GPPs, you can have 5 weeks losing. All you need is that 1 week. Say, for example, you're entering the slant, the $9 slant. 150 lineups is going to cost you $13.50, right? Well, you win 1 week out of those 5 weeks. You're at the top. Let's say top 5, top 10. That's 20, 30, 40 grand. Fuck. You're fine. Don't give up. Keep rocking. Watch. Don't be upset for losing a couple $100. Get up Monday morning. Watch the recap. See what you did right. See what you did wrong. Get back. Write it down. Okay? And then try again. All right? Now, some other good spots here. Green Bay at the Lions. Green Bay at Detroit. Yeah, I mean, we got some studs there. Obviously, Aaron Jones certainly in play. Devontae Adams is in play every week. It's just expensive. It's very expensive. You're gonna have to have some flyers. You're gonna have to throw some $3,000 receivers to get a decent looking lineup. But maybe Matthew Stafford. Hey, maybe the coaching change was just what he needed. I don't know who the coach is right now, but they dropped 35 against the Bears, and they beat them. Okay? 35-30, they beat the Bears. They dropped 35 fucking points. Kenny Golladay is back. Marvin Jones, TJ Hawkinson. You can stack this man up with anybody. I mean, the Packers defense don't really fear me too much. And it's a fucking dome game. It's a dome game. Okay, you gotta be all over the. I mean, this is a shootout. This is the only thing is a divisional matchup in December. Those don't really project too well for me normally, but Vegas tells me there's gonna be a shitload of scoring, so I'm gonna be all over this game. Most likely on the Lions side though. Okay, most likely on the Lions side because they're gonna have to play from behind. And Green Bay is already locked up pretty much. I mean, they're locked to the playoffs, so. Who knows? They might have one bad week. Any given Sunday. Never forget that theory, guys. Anyways, Keith Vape here. Like and subscribe, please, guys. I'm trying to share. I'm making this content right now. Like I said, I'm new to these YouTube things, making videos, etc. But I kind of figured out. I've been doing well in DFS, so I'm just openly conversating with you guys, telling you where I'm at currently as it sits on a Thursday night, okay? Obviously, it's going to change by Sunday lock, but this is where I'm at the moment. Thank you so much for joining me today, whoever the viewers may be. And everybody have a fantastic night. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like and please share. All right, I'm a proven winner when it comes to GPPs and daily fantasy. Okay, but this is, I just share my concept, the thought, the theory behind it. Please watch my previous videos so you understand where I'm coming from when I try to explain game theory and what's helped me. Because I shared my lineups. If you look at the past videos, you're gonna understand exactly what I'm talking about, and it's gonna be the same theory for the rest of the year. Okay, I'm gonna find the low owned teams, stack them up with high leverage players that are grading well, and I'm gonna leverage the field. I'm gonna be over the field on those players. And I'm gonna avoid some of the chalk. You have to avoid chalk. You can't have chalk everywhere, but definitely, I'm really looking forward to this week, and I really enjoyed this short live video. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Keith Vape is out.